of your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West. Here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Now, as usual, I give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it first, followed by a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, or something that's going on in the community, review some pictures. And then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it, folks. So let's waste no time. Happy Easter. Easter Bunny and Easter eggs. Let's get to it. Story number 1. To steal or not to steal? That is the question. One Boardman police report claims that more than $80,000 worth of jewelry, cash, and other items went missing at a house on Sugar Creek Drive. The continued shifts in crime is what got the story in. People are falling on hard times and may see justice in stealing or getting revenge on people who may owe them money. That's why story number 1 made it this week. This story is still developing. Big help. Story number 2. Local robotics on the rise. Robotics has stayed consistent in local headlines. Girard High School and Warren G. Harding High School scored in the top 10 out of 55 teams last weekend at the Buckeye Regional event in the Wolstein Center in Cleveland. Canfield High School placed 26th and Howland High School placed 50th at the Buckeye Regional. Now, 750,000 youth from over 100 countries are participating in FIRST Robotics. If you did not know, Bob Copeland of The Vindicator published a piece March 26 in full detail about how local kids have been getting involved and making a huge impact in the robotics arena. That's why story number 2 made it this week. Story number 3. Who will replace Saxton? 6 candidates will look to replace Superintendent Timothy Saxton of Boardman, who will be stepping down July 31st, according to local reports. Now, one Vindicator report published March 26 goes on to explain Saxton's long tenure in Boardman. He's a legend if you check out this article. He's been in the Boardman district for a long time. That's why story number 3 made it this week. Story number 4. Attack on Dollar Generals and why businesses are staying out of Youngstown. This is a big story. Now, observers are leaning observers are learning a lot about Youngstown's culture and business climate. That means onlookers, analysts. Now, the reality is that people have tried over and over again to invest in the city, but have been left with many problems, more problems than solutions. Now, crime has been one of the main problems on why people have decided to stay out of Youngstown and the city's reputation and the people. Now Youngstown is going after their only business lifelines, which are gas stations and dollar stores. Why they're doing this remains a mystery. Now, the city, they do say they have a legitimate plan on why they're doing this. Now, the city plans to place a 1-year moratorium on opening new or expanding existing dollar stores. Now, they're doing this to used car lots, gas stations, and auto mechanic businesses in the city, according to a Vindicator report published March 26 by David Scolding. Now, the article lists a number of concerns about stores within the city. Why local communities continue to go head-to-head with business owners remains a mystery. Boardman zoning is currently still in dispute with the Boardman Dairy Queen. If you did not know, folks, the story is still developing at a time when businesses are needed and they're already going through hell. So story number 4 made it this week. Story number 5. A $435 million graphite plant. An investment announced in Wethersfield. Ron Seelig Jr. has an article focused on how a Canadian company plans to invest $435 million to build a graphite anode manufacturing plant in the township to support the electric vehicle industry. The report says that the company has signed a 50-year land lease agreement for 85 acres on Warren Avenue. The fight to maintain the vision for Voltage Valley is what got the story in. They're just shooting for this goal of Voltage Valley, which almost seems hard, which seems very hard. It almost seems impossible, but it's not impossible. Nothing is impossible, but they're going to keep trying. Graphite is a substance used to make lithium-ion batteries. If you did not know, that's why story number 5 made it this week. Story number 6. Boardman approves $24 million budget. 2024 operating budget. The 2024 operating budget for $24 million in Boardman has been approved. Trustees approved over $35,000 for security, like cameras and police ammunition. This story made it in because the cost that communities keep paying and have been paying to beef up security seems to be increasing. That shows you what times we're living in. This story is still developing, and the dream of taking the locks off the doors and leaving your doors unlocked at night remains in the goals of a lot of people. So story number 6 almost made to the top 2. Story number 7 and the top 2. Local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week for you to keep you informed, even on Easter Sunday. I'm doing this for the love of the game, baby. Story number 7, love of mediation. $2 million in federal spending headed to Mahoning County. It appears that $2 million of the $1.2 trillion spending bill will be headed to Mahoning County. U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown, a Democrat of Ohio, voted to approve the package that invests in Ohio, increases resources for border security, supports Ohio military installations, and helps combat the addiction crisis, according to a Mediator report published March 24th. That's why story number 7 also made to the top this week. Big story number 8, the top local headline and developing news story that made it this week. Shout out to our Easter bunny. My sister, she loves animals, and we had this Easter bunny that passed away years ago when we were just kids. Every Easter I think about that bunny. So rest in peace, little bunny. Let's get to this top story. Story number 8. $10.5 million grant headed to Camel. A $10.5 million grant will be headed to Camel to build a health and community development center, according to a Mediator report by David Skolnick, published March 23rd. The article says that DeWine made an appearance in the city on the Hill to announce $64.2 million grant to fund 28 projects in 20 Appalachian counties to improve access to health care through what the report says is the Appalachian Children's Health Initiative. It's the largest in the state. If you did not know, now the new building will provide access to food, hygiene products, and school supplies through an on-site pantry and greenhouse. The report goes on to say that child care, workforce services, medical coding, and medical assistance educational programs will all be provided. Also, in this money and all this stuff that the state loves to give as grants. So my story number 8 made it to the top this week. Well, folks, those are our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories. So don't you go anywhere. You're in the Mediator with me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
Tune in and don't forget to subscribe to Method 8 Inc. YouTube channel. You can also watch free public entertainment. And don't forget to show some support by visiting www.method8inc.com by buying something, clicking something, watching something, or just reading something. You can also sponsor a program as well. That's www.method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
What does Method8inc.com Media Center have that I need?
Small prints, event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the visual and performing arts, ink and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer and cell phone repair, and they're located at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday. The list goes on and on.
Method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
Oh yeah! And yes, we are chipmunks.
Teach me how to walk and pray. Guide me through the storm on a rainy day. 'Cause all I see are my priorities. So teach me how to walk and pray. Guide me through the storm on a rainy day. 'Cause all I see are my priorities. Teach me now, I'm on my way. Courses, math, English, and science on a brand new day. Go to school on Monday, Sunday, whatever it takes. 'Cause all I see are my priorities. So teach me how to walk and pray. Guide me through the storm.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I remember a long time ago I was doing charity work at a church. You know, I used to have a kids program. I was so inspired to try to do so much for the community. I was making a little bit of paycheck from the government, and there was this kids program, and coming around Easter time, and I used to have to transport the kids around. You know, I used to play sports with them, be there for them, take them to the park. They were so young, and they just needed somebody in their life. And they had gotten a fight over this Easter play. And one of the kids, we was sitting in a car, and I guess him and his brothers, one of the brothers wanted to play Jesus in the Easter play. So he got upset with his brothers, and they was fighting, frustrated. I couldn't believe it. I'm in a car, and they say, one of the directors said, "Brian, who you think should play Jesus in the Easter play?" So they went outside, duked it out. Bah! I'm sorry, you going out to play Easter. I'm going to play Jesus. But next thing you know, one brother got knocked out. Bam, hit the ground, hit his head, everything. Then he rose up. I said, that brother right there need to play Jesus. He rose up, got knocked out, rose up. Give him the part. Whew. Remember that day? Like it was my last day, because that was the last play I did, Easter Sunday. Let's waste no time, folks. Brother rose up to play Jesus Christ in Easter play. Let's get to it. Story number 1. New study goes after some of America's largest companies. CNN has a business article stating that America's largest companies are fueling inequality. Now, according to the piece, U.S.-based corporations are making more money than ever before, and the article goes on to say that it's going back into shareholders' pockets. Is that fair? And what got the story in is the fact that there are trillions of treasury dollars floating in the world economy, and some feel that hoarding cash is unfair, while others may not because they earned it. Folks, the story is still developing, and it's causing a seesaw battle when it comes to who's got the money. Big hit. Story number 2. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be successful and comfortable. That's what a lot of people say. But a lot of people want to hoard that cash. Story number 2. What a lack of an education could do to the next generation. The Los Angeles Times says that Generation Alpha, born from 2010 to 2024, could be doomed because of lack of education. Now, the article goes on to explain that the challenges ahead, claiming that this generation is responsible for destroying beloved American establishments like department stores, the housing market, and the institution of marriage. Folks, the story is still developing. That's why story number 2 made it this week. Story number 3. Why businesses are turning to artificial intelligence. It is clear that business owners see more pros than cons when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence. This is the case because businesses continue to complain about lack of good workers and a growing quality control problem when carrying out business plans. Now, efficiency and better methods to troubleshoot are also factors when it comes to artificial intelligence. Now, Vox has an entire article on how artificial intelligence could explode when it comes to the economy. It could boost the economy, continue to boost the economy, could explode the economy. The story is still developing. That's why story number 3 made it this week. Story number 4. Mexico's president could use immigration to make a deal. Ooh, leverage. Using immigration, your own people, to make a deal with America. Is that a wise decision? Fox News says that Mexico's president stated in a 60 Minutes video that unless the United States complies with Latin America's request for aid, the tide of migrants will continue. Now, the country wants $20 billion in aid a year. He also wants sanctions on Venezuela lifted, and he wants an end to the Cuban embargo. He also asked for the legislation of millions of Mexicans that are already living in America. He wants legislation for these for these Mexicans that are already living in America. He ended his interview. The interview ended stating that if the United States does not do any of these things, then the flow of migrants will continue. Folks, this story is still developing. Well, folks, those are our top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that have made it this week. I'll be right back with the top 4. So don't you go anywhere. You're the Mediator with me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
Aunt Tasha, she said that you can be dumb and still make a lot of money.
Don't be deceived, okay? Just get the work done. Get your work done, graduate, you'll be successful. Don't be deceived. I told you that. Now hit the books.
Mom's not coming back, is she, Dad?
Low test scores again?
Every teacher is in here day and night, and it's not our fault.
Uriah aced her random proficiency test because you helped her. She's the first student in the city's district to ace that test.
So did he pay?
No, who only paid that?
Apply the pressure.
Hey, get that mess out of here!
Titi, you picked this district, Titi. I'm going to Puerto Rico. Me voy a Puerto Rico, Titi. Cálmate. Calm down. ¿Cómo que me calme? How am I calm down? You had us come here, Titi. How can I protect myself? That's all I need for you to help me with. How do I protect myself? Oh, they're not gonna hurt you.
If this is what I get for being a good student and acing a test, I'd rather have failed.
I never told you that being good would be easy.
Clear target, cannot miss.
Home for his little girl. Take me.
They're in danger.
I won't tell you how this is gonna end, Laura, but my history professor once told me, in order to prevent a genocide, you first have to kill the dictator.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week on Easter Sunday. Folks, you ever feel like a superhero? Like you got the powers, special powers to heal people, to bless somebody? Well, I've had a lot of people pass in my family, and I'll never forget when I pushed my grandpa. I said, "Grandpa, you got to live for 3 more years. We gonna be broke. We need you. We need you around the house. My mother needs you." And he lived for 3 more years. I resurrected him. Then I went ghost busting in East Palestine, if your country. Little city that got hit by a train derailment. I put on my Ghostbuster music and I went flying into the city with my camera. And I guess we're gonna have to take control. I went in, something strange in the neighborhood. I had my music on. Went Ghostbusting in East Palestine. I went in there to get a story, to make sure that the documentary was talking about the redemption, the resurrection of a city, of a village. All my life, I've dreamed of a powerful story of being a superhero. And that's how I became the Mediator, because I've always wanted to rise in and save the day. Even when I'm getting cussed out, for some reason, I'm the superhero that a lot of people don't like to see. Sometimes they like to see me, sometimes they don't. I delivered a refrigerator the other day, and I got deprived of my freedom, my love for the community. Out of all the right I did, I got one thing wrong, and that's the hardest part about being a superhero, folks. Is you have to keep You have to almost practice perfection. And as many lives as you save, it's just that one life that you can't save, that you always hear about. You gotta be a go-getter. If you want something better, you gotta go get your own. Heart on the love it is given. Don't know where the cards may fall. Woo. All I know is that we gotta get it. We gotta make it on our home. Finally got to see Ghostbusters after that. Let's waste some time, folks. Resurrection Sunday. Let's get up, rise up. After being knocked down, let's get to it. Story number 5. What's in the new budget deal? The $1.2 trillion spending bill includes 6 bills: defense, state, foreign operations, and related programs, financial services and general government, labor, health and human services and education, homeland security, and the legislative branch. This is all according to case.house.gov. Everything you need to know that is in the new $1 trillion spending bill is on that website, case.house.gov. These are just the subtitles, or the titles of where the money is going. That's why story number 5 made it this week. I gotta go get her. If you want something better, you gotta go get your own. Story number 6, the rising costs. MoneyWise has a headline stating that an independent contractor from California got a tax bill that cost more than her student loans. Now, the girl is only 25 years old and made $100,000 last year. She owes $26,000 in taxes. Oh! Costs continue to be the dagger in the side for many Americans at the moment. One example is the simple fact that in the 1980s, cable TV went from $8 to $16. Now it's between $54.44 to $69.03, depending on which package you get, cable package. I think the lowest price I could find on cable was $19.99, because if you did not know, take a look at your Little Debbie's cakes at the store. They went from 25 cents to 70 cents. Some of them cost $1 now. Folks, this story is still developing as costs continue to be a problem. That's why story number 6 also made it to the top 2 this week. Big headline. Story number 7 at the top 2. International headline and developing news story that made it this week. I went around the neighborhood chasing bunnies. Singing my song, I chase it like bunny rabbits running all over the place. I started running, and I pull out my shotgun, bang! Bunny rabbits scatter, eggs everywhere, kids everywhere, bunny rabbits. Easter Sunday, story number 7. War vibes are spreading. Speaking of shoot bunny rabbits, the biggest question on everyone's mind is, where are world leaders and tyrants? Where are they? Where are they at? What are they thinking? And why are they turning to war and violence to get what they want? Not just world leaders, but tyrants also. Where are they coming from? So far, at least 32,333 Palestinians. So that's 32,333 Palestinians have been killed in Israelis' ongoing offense on the Gaza Strip. More than 74,694 have been injured. That's a lot of people, folks. 13,000 were children. 590 Israeli soldiers have been killed. Hamas terror raid killed 1,200 people. These are people that are gone. That's sad. Israel's President Benjamin Netanyahu called it their 9/11. So that's why he said you're going to retaliate. It would be like Bush. How about that? Now, this is according to AA.com. Are these world leaders getting influenced by other world leaders? Tyrants getting influenced by other tyrants? You see somebody else kill somebody? Like, oh, I kill somebody too. That's the question. 14,400 people have been killed in the Ukraine-Russia war, the Ukraine war with Russia. How about that? Putin is even in the killing business. Russia, well, he's orchestrating the killing business. Russia has lost 414,680 troops. In 2023, Haiti lost over 4,700 people to violence. This is according to Statista.com. Now, in 2024, 2,439 people have died after the country fell into anarchy. 902 people have been injured and 951 kidnapped. Wow. This is all according to Al Jazeera. Now, if you get the meat of the story, the question is, why are these vibes spreading? It's spreading because if somebody else does it, if somebody else feels they can do it. I have no clue. That's why story number 7 always made to the top this week, because for some odd reason, the killing the death angel is flying around. He's been flying around for a long time, but now he's getting crazy. Big crazy. Big. Story number 8 in the top international headline and developing news story that made it this week. Hands up. I just want to tell a story. I don't have nothing else to do. I just want a videotape. I want to get out the boxing match alive. I don't want no fight. I don't want to be on the top news. I don't want to be a top story. I just want to do what I'm here to do, and that's mediate. How about that? On Easter Sunday. Story number 8. What happened to the Francis Scott Key Bridge? Francis Scott Key is I believe the founder. He's the one who orchestrated the Star Spangled Banner. Ooh, Francis Scott Key. How did this story make it to the top? Because the bridge fell down. It got hit by a cargo ship. Now, when observing the footage, folks, it looks like a cargo ship lost power, then veered towards the stanchion and the bridge. It veered towards the stanchion, and then and one of the bridge's tower bases, causing the bridge to collapse. So that means that a cargo ship crashed into a bridge. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, the incident could take years to investigate. Now, what got the story in is the fact that the ship was 158 feet wide. The bridge had a 1,200 feet wide clearance. What's the odds of that? Now, the president says that the federal government will pay for the bridge to be rebuilt. 6 workers were killed, foreign workers, and they were filling potholes, and this could cause mass delays in the country's logistics plans. Folks, this story is still developing. So it's still a rate made to the top this week. Well, folks, those are our top 8 international and local stories that made it this week. I hope you got something out of today's program. I always get something out of doing the research. As usual, I'd like to thank all the news outlets, the journalists, the people on the front lines. You deserve all the credit. I am just a mediator, the man in the middle, navigating your stories just to keep people informed. If you want to show us some support here at Method 8, it does not take much. All you have to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or respond to the program. Or you can stop at the store at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio, and see my smiling face, maybe on the roof or doing something in the back, cleaning some cars. Who knows? Well, folks, I am out of here. Happy Easter. I'll be back next week looking through over 200 more stories just to keep you informed. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you for tuning to the Mediator with me, Brian West. April Fools. Peace.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.